Hello and welcome everyone to this video on CDS View with input parameters by ZaranTech. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our ZaranTech YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to never miss any update from us.
In today's video, we will learn about creating a CDS view with input parameters. So what does exactly happen is, let's say we are creating a CDS view, but now we don't want the entire data. Similar to reporting, we need data in the CDS view based on several parameters. Okay, so how we define parameters in CDS view is again another important thing. So let's quickly create a CDS view with input parameters and we see how it exactly works. So we define it, let's say it is SQL underscore example 4. We have to give the name of the data source there. Okay, so before we create the data source, mention the data source, the important thing to understand here is we can define the input parameters in CDS view by placing the word parameters in front of the CDS view. And then the parameter list we define has to be separated by comma. It means it has to be a comma separated list. Each input parameter must be typed with elementary data type. Means if we are defining let's say a parameter known as p underscore each, so its elementary data type should be I. It has to be defined along with the input parameters. Okay, the input parameters could be of a type as the predefined dictionary type, or it could be any data element type as well. Let's say if we make a parameter known as p underscore mapner, so it could have a reference to the data dictionary element mapner as well. Now we need to use annotations as well to provide the additional information to the parameters. And whenever we create any CDS view with parameters, we need to address those input parameters. So the longer version to address the parameter is with the dollar prefix, means you have to put the dollar in front of the parameter, which I'll show you, and the other way is the colon. But I think we suggest always to use the parameter parameterized, sorry, the dollar way of accessing the parameter. The reason for that is the colon method could be non-compatible in some of the cases. And whenever we open the CDS in the data preview mode, the CDS will ask for the input parameters, and it is absolutely mandatory to pass all the parameters if we define it. Till now, there is no provision of passing as an optional parameter. So every parameter we pass by default becomes the mandatory parameter. So define view, we have created the name of the view. So before passing the select, what we will do is we will add parameters with parameters. Okay. So let's say we are creating CDS view one S book. So if you go and check S book, so there are fields in S book. Okay, so on the basis of which I'm making here as a one factor I'm making as a smoking factor. Let's define its type. As I defined, it could be a primitive type as well. So I'm making it as an ABAP dot currency, let's say. And we define another factor as so this here I'm giving reference to it's a comma separated list. So again I'm here giving reference to a data element. That's again a data element for currency. If you say S price, okay, then I'm making one factor for and the type is ABAP dot. Okay. Now we will be given some fields. So first, let's specify the source as book. So we are putting keys here. So keys is put on. Let's say we put on this field known as smoker. So when it's X, we are saying that my currency, which is my local currency, should become into whatever the parameter is provided at the screen. Smoker factor is the other way to access is colon non-smoker factor and we end it as, let's say, we call it as adjusted amount as a part of some business process, and then we call FL date. Okay, and here I put a condition. Let's say my FL okay, so it is done. Let's book FL date. Let's update it. Okay, so now if you are facing some issue here with the type conversion, I believe it should not be there. Okay, FL date, we set to FL date. Okay, so for the timing, let's not we can see how it is. Okay, the error is gone. So let's execute it. So as I mentioned that, whatever input parameters we will give, okay, it will be becoming as an input criteria. Okay, so now this appellate is optional because even if I don't give it, it will run. Okay, but if I remove this thing, does the data preview opens now? Now it is a mandatory parameter as well. So though the parameter cannot be optional, but they can be mapped with the system data, like we used to map it with side datum, side user. So this annotation is kind of doing the same work here. Okay, so when we write this annotation environment.system field, what exactly happens is that it maps it with the system field. So even if the user does not pass it, it behaves as an optional, and by default the system parameters are passed in as a input parameters. Okay, so this is how we make CDS with input parameters.